Hey there, Leo. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is a general message for you, so whatever comes out, comes out. It's going to be equal parts oracle and tarot cards. Thank you for those who have donated, sought out personal readings. Yeah, I appreciate it. And it's good to work with you. Please like the video if you're so inclined. This is in June 2024. This reading is in June 2024, but I also want to consider this a timeless reading. So whenever you find it, maybe the messages are for you then, okay? Show me energy for the sign of Leo, please. You have to be fair. Okay, I'm going to toss miracles and see which direction it wants to come up in. Okay, so it came up upright. You have delight. Regret. I'm going to go ahead and get one from the Denied Shadow Oracle. This can talk about internal world that we need to work on. It can talk about external sometimes, depending upon what's going on. So show me for Leo. Fear of the unknown in reverse. Okay. All right, so let's just be with these for a second. I'm gonna actually run to the bathroom. I'm gonna pause this real quick. All right, Leo, thank you for your patience. So you start out this energy with to be fair. To be fair is very much like the Justice card. It is one of bringing clarity, honesty. It's also seeking balance within our connections. Yeah, and for some of you, that is speaking up to people. And that can go any different type of ways, you know, but it can also be being fair to somebody. Perhaps there's somebody in your life, Leo, where it's like you've either withdrawn your energy, you stop talking to them. For some of you, this is like entirely like you are more than welcome to not ever speak to that person again. But if you've done this and you know it wasn't fair, or you feel like you want to apologize or communicate something, this is the time to do that. And that also may be like, with miracles right next to it, it's almost as if like the energy is like when pigs fly, you know, that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. Like, you know, it's something where it's like we've been highly resistant to saying something to somebody, or like highly resistant to even being honest with somebody. And that can be also something like, I'm being reminded of a situation that I experienced where I had been talking to this person for like 2 months online, you know, with potential romantic feelings. And everything was amazing. Everything was amazing. We had the most amazing conversations. We had the most like crazy humor and wit and laughter, and all of it was just like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And we were born on the same day. And our life experiences were like parallel, like mirror images. It was so strange. And we just got it. We just got it. And it was just so much fun and just such a blast. And then we met in person. And it was like, I feel nothing for you as far as like a connection goes, which is such a strange thing because it's like, you know, you imagine, oh, well, if all of this can be so good, then it's like everything has to just align, right? But then it's like you meet the person and in person you're like, oh, this isn't right. This doesn't feel right. And with this particular person, they had like a 6-foot radius of halitosis around them, which added to all of the things that I ended up not liking in the experience. And I don't say this to be mean. I say it because I had to tell them that, you know? I didn't for a moment, a couple weeks. And then they were like, you just kind of like, you know, you pulled your energy back. Like we talked every single day. And like we were so present with each other and this and this. And then when you met me, it's like everything just kind of dissipated. And like you just kind of like, you know, and I said, well, after I met you, I told you that I was happy to be your friend. But that was kind of the direction I would allow it to go, not wanting to seek out anything romantic. I didn't mention like the halitosis, but when they kind of grilled me on it later on, I mentioned it because I realized this is something that this person needs to know. First of all, they're not getting jobs like, you know, that's a barrier. And I'm going to tell them that because they need to fix that. And secondly, it's not something that's avoidable or you can just turn a blind eye to. That is something that it's like when somebody wears too much perfume and you can smell them in the building. It was like that. So this is just a the reason I'm saying this, Leo, is because it's just more of a nod to just being very honest in telling somebody something, and maybe you haven't, and maybe that's something that they need to hear because it's important for them to change. Not everybody's going to want to do this, and not everybody's going to do it, but you can imagine how many people in their life have not told them that, and so maybe they need to hear it. So that's just something of consideration here. We'll find out why miracles is here. Sorry to go on a little tangent there for you guys. I appreciate you listening. Delight, you know, I feel here that there's going to be changes in your life that are going to bring a lot of fairness, a lot of equality. I think that this is going to also be seen as something where it's like, it's a miracle. It's like one day I'm experiencing life in a certain way and it's humdrum and I'm sad and depressed and frustrated. And then the next, it's like, oh my God, it's such a change. And I feel that that's going to be had by embracing the unknown. It's going to be allowing miracles to work on your behalf in your life and show up as miracles. You know, when you initiate situations, we have fear of the unknown in reverse, embrace uncertainty. When you initiate that and you act upon life, you allow miracles to happen in your life. You will be you will be shown such delight that you can experience here. And it may come with certain levels of regret, sometimes leaving people behind, sometimes, you know, cutting people out. There's regret associated with that. Not every departure is going to be filled with like sunshine and rainbows, but sometimes we have to go, right? So let's get some cards out here for this. To be fair. Like honest injustice doesn't necessarily stop because something is unpleasant. Sometimes things that are unpleasant need to be spoken about. And I say that, and you have the princess. This is the Page of Swords. This is all about speaking up. The card itself is called the Activist. Under there, at the bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Swords. So this is, but this is actually the King of Swords in this deck. Knights are kings in this deck. So very interesting here, Leo. Like something, you've got this is the King of Swords, the Page of Swords, and then you also have this energy, which is just might as well be Justice, the Justice card. So there's something here, Leo, that needs to be said, and it needs to be done with just the most tactful honesty, but it's also removing your emotions from the situation so it can actually be spoken about. You're going to have an uncomfortable conversation here with somebody or a group of people, something here. And it's for your own fairness. It's to be fair with them, however it is, but it levels things out for the best. Yeah, I feel you guys are going to be very, very clear in what you say. You're going to be concise. You're not going to mince words, but you're also not going to sugarcoat. And that's kind of the message here, Leo, is please don't sugarcoat it for the benefit of somebody else or what you think is the benefit of somebody else. They need to hear it straight, no shooter. Show me miracles here. You have the Knight of Wands in this reading or in this question here, placement, whatever it is, miracles. The Knight of Wands is it's bold action taking, okay? And it's an initiator. It's an initiation card, all right? The Knight of Wands is also a card of timing. For some of you, some sort of communication here about whatever it is that needs to happen, the timing is of the essence here. The timing is something where it's like you're being shown, like, do it now. That is what it is. Do it now. And shift happens. When that shift happens, we allow miracles into our life. Miracles is the same as change. It's the same as moving things forward. And if you've been having a difficult time with indecision about that, it's asking for you to be available to it. It also may help somebody accept themselves for what they need to change, right? And maybe that's you, maybe that's somebody. I feel it's external to you. It's like an illumination. You're like bringing some awareness to somebody's life where it was very important for that to happen, but to get you to do that, it was uncomfortable. But in the end, it actually is more like it's like in a sideways roundabout way, it's kind of like an opportunity for growth. Yeah. You have the 10 of Swords coming out with delight. Some of you are needing to shift the way that you find like recreational diversion, drinking, drugging, whatever it is. Shift in how you find your happiness or like how you numb out. With the 10 of Swords here, this card is very much like, I mean, you can see all of the drugs in it. You can see all of the problems in it. It's codependency, it's addiction, it's all of that. And if we are connected to situations that provide that when we're just trying to get get some happiness in our life, like if we're using those things to find some peace, that's not going to bring us happiness, you know? So here it's like asking for us to be honest about what recovery would look like. What does moving away from this energy look like, you know? Because the 10 of Swords, it's a harsh card, but it also talks about things being over. It talks about change begging to happen because things are done, right? It's asking for new beginnings that can move forward in a very healthy way, or embracing new health habits, you know, taking delight in what a healthy body feels like, taking delight in what a body free of addiction feels like, you know? What does that feel like? I was a heavy alcoholic and drug user for 20 years, and I didn't know how to find that freedom. And I was terrified to find that freedom because I didn't know what I was going to be like without those drugs, without that alcohol every single day of my life. I was afraid to connect with who I was at a core level, to accept who I was as a human being. And so I persisted in that direction, but it did not bring me delight. I had a lot of lovely, delightful moments that were external to me, but my inner world was anything but delight. It's asking if you have dependency upon whatever it is, and whether or not it's, you know, drugs or whatever, porn, addiction. It's asking you to look at the places in your life where you're addicted to something, where you're finding some codependent nature with something. What is that connection here? It's asking for you to find a healthier alternative, but to act upon it, to be fair. It's asking for you to give yourself the fairness in that, to cut through the BS and to be honest about it. That is when you free up that energy. That is when miracles happen. That is when you take action upon the things that need to change. And with this Knight of Wands, they often go running into the sunset. They don't know where they're going, but they have enthusiasm to get there. This is the same amount of enthusiasm to get there. It's to get out of the pain, to get out of the attachment, to get out of that wound that is not healed. It's to actively allow the shift to happen. And for some of you, that is literally freeing up your energy from substances, from situations. Even if it's not substances, it might be people that are highly toxic in your life. The delight energy is to find delight in life again, to find peace in life again, to embrace some sort of healthy pathway that is not that. Show me regret. The Knight of Cups. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The Knight of Cups, in this deck, it's very much somebody who is, well, it's called the filmmaker. And they can see things as they want to, okay? So sometimes it's like even if you look at this card, like you see this guy, he's got his hands up, he's looking at like how it would look through this lens, how it would look through this, but it's kind of performative. You know, it's kind of like more of like with regret here, it's almost like seeing things in the way that we want to see them rather than for how they actually are. And so we've seen it that way for so much of our lives, and we've acted upon that way for so much of our lives, but we realize when we have some clarity, holy crap, what did I do? Like how many hearts did I break? How many situations did I really cause like problems for people? You know, I may have spun it in a way where I'm not accountable for it, but now I'm finding this clarity through accountability. And it's like, oh my God, wow, how did I affect all these situations and the situations for myself? It's asking you to have strength and patience through the process of that healing. Whatever this regret situation is, you know, also too, I do want to say, not just because it's Pride Month, but the Knight of Cups can also talk about somebody who's either bisexual, somebody who's gay. It's either way, it doesn't have to be, but like it's somebody who needs to live their life through creativity, through openness, through that like channel of just freedom in a creative way. And that doesn't mean you have to be gay or bisexual, but that's also an energy of the Knight of Cups, just FYI. It's asking for us to have the patience to come out and to take that change, allow that change. And maybe that's a miracle for somebody as well. Maybe you're witnessing somebody do that. You know, maybe you need to be somebody that is supportive of that for somebody in your life, you know. That's also a miracle for somebody else. Maybe you can be part of the experience of miracles for somebody else as well, you know. This could be you've dealt with a person, though, and the situation just left you with regret. I mean, we have people here. We've got the Page of Wands, or Page of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups. Like there are people energies here, Leo. So it's suggesting that there have been conversation, there's been action, there's been situations that have happened here. But with regret, I almost feel like this kind of energy is like lying to ourselves or like creating scenarios that are more palatable than what actually is. And it's asking for us to have strength in being accountable for what's happened. Show me fear of the unknown in reverse. The Ace of Cups. I like that. Because it's saying you're embracing things with uncertainty and you're allowing yourself to experience newness. With the Ace of Cups, this talks, yes, it can talk about like finding new love, but it's also one of emotional healing here. By embracing new opportunities and freeing yourself in places like to experience new things and being accountable for whatever you've experienced here, and being accountable for how you've affected others, it brings a level of healing. It brings a level of self-awareness, and it shows you what not to do again. It shows you, I need to change my life. Sometimes we are the miracle within our own experience. I feel here a lot of you, Leo, there's a lot of change in your health within this reading, or it's an indicator for you to start finding different habits that are emotionally satisfying. They feed your soul, they feed your physical body. This is asking for you to become more aware within your physical experience rather than being in a place of delusion or creating situations where it's like we're acting out rather than being present, and that's also a big ask because some of us are very used to that type of behavior. It's calling ourselves out where we're being childish or where we're reactionary because we have unresolved wounding. It's asking for us to look deeply into that and to heal it. Again, some of us must become the miracle within our own lives to allow miracles to be experienced in our lives. So that's what I have for you guys. I'm going to let it go here. Yeah, I'm going to let it go here. And I hope that this reading is good for you guys. Yeah, thanks so much. Bye, Leo.